Next up on Encounter, it's our Survey Says segment. Each month we take a look at a current survey that you might find interesting, and this month we take a look at the debate as to which public bathrooms transgender people should use. With the visibility of transgender Americans increasing in recent years, it has been accompanied by a contentious political debate over the rights of the estimated 0.6% of U.S. adults who identify as transgender, in particular, which public restrooms they should legally be allowed to enter. Earlier this year, North Carolina became the focus for much of this debate when it enacted a law prohibiting people from using public bathrooms that do not match their biological sex. According to a new Pew Research Center survey, about half of U.S. adults, or 51%, say transgender individuals should be allowed to use public restrooms that correspond with the gender they currently identify with. But nearly as many, or 46%, take the opposite position and say transgender people should be required to use bathrooms that match the gender they were born into. Religion, age, gender, and politics are all connected with the views on this issue. For instance, a majority of Americans who say they attend religious services at least weekly, especially white evangelicals, say transgender people should be required to use bathrooms of their gender at birth. While most of those who attend service less often, especially people who do not identify with any religion, take the more liberal position that such individuals should be allowed to use bathrooms that correspond to their gender identity. 60% of Catholics in the survey say transgender people should be required to use bathrooms of their gender at birth, while 38% say they should be allowed to use the bathroom of their gender identity. Also in the survey, more women, 55%, say transgender people should be allowed to use bathrooms that correspond to their gender identity, while only 45% of men agree with that stance. In terms of age, 67% of those aged 18 to 29 support transgender Americans using bathrooms that correspond to their gender identity, compared to less than 50% in all the older age groups in the survey. Interesting.